everybody. Man, it's been a while. It's been a while. But I've been traveling, I've been doing stuff, I've been working, man. So, you know, just doing stuff. Wait for some people to get up in here before I just be talking to myself. Let's see if we'll have a chat full of regulars tonight or a chat full of weird people. It's usually a back and forth. One time we get a stream full of people I've never heard of, and the next time we get a stream full of the regulars. But I actually did the little warning this time. I actually put the stream up like days in advance, so we'll see if that changes anything. Y'all know normally I just get on here and I don't even put a warning. I just pop up. Normally. Dun, 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 dun. Let me see. Green screen. Look, that's me. 15 kills. I was carrying the team. Carrying the team. I got the most random stuff in my camera roll. This motherfucker is scary, bro. Okay. That's enough green screen. I'll give it a good 15 minutes. We're at 2 minutes. I'll give it 15 minutes. We'll see who comes in. If nobody comes in 20 to 30 minutes, I'm bouncing. I had a rough weekend. But yeah, no, I like interacting. I like talking. So if people show up, we'll see what happens. 1 second, I gotta reply to a message. You know what I forgot to do? I forgot to do my infamous poll. Did you tell me something you learned recently and like this video? Okay. I have made the poll, so we'll see. I'll be right back. I'm back. If anybody comes in here, let me know if you drink coffee late at night. Right now it's 8 p.m. for me. I usually try to keep my last cup before 9:30. But sometimes I do 9:30. Sometimes I do 10. I usually don't drink coffee later than 10 o'clock though. But a little 8 o'clock cup of coffee, it's good. Late night coffee is the best, man. I know coffee makes like some people jittery and stuff, but caffeine doesn't really affect me, so it has a relaxing feeling to it. But I don't get the jitters and anxiety that some people get when they drink coffee. If you get those, obviously it doesn't make sense to drink coffee late at night. But that doesn't happen to me, so. Be right back. Okay. Okay. What's going on with the world, man? What y'all on? Two people in here, nobody voted in the poll. That's crazy. How you gonna be on the stream and not vote on the poll? And those two people disappeared when I said that. So, yeah, scram. If you're not gonna vote on the poll, get out of here. Beat it. Get lost. I should have brought my laptop so that I could preoccupy myself until people get into the stream. But I don't have my laptop, so all I can do is talk to myself until more people get in here. I have to wait for one person to strike up the conversation. Where are you, one person? Where are you? What's this old head stream about? It's about everything, bro. It's about anything. We just talking, man. It's an honor to be called an old head. I remember I used to look up to the old heads and I'd be like, man, I hope I make it to that age one day. And I'm here, baby. I made it. You gotta pray to make it to this age, man. The world is crazy. You just assume you're gonna get old one day. You might not, bro. Most of my friends I grew up with, they're dead now. So they own. I remember your name. Oh, what did you say last time? Now that I just thought about it, because I just said my friends are dead. You said something about your friend dying last time you were here. But I can't remember exactly what you said. I think it was a joke. Would you rather have to scream when you poop or cry, sob when you pee? I already do both of those. So it's not a very good hypothetical. Doesn't everybody scream when they poop? Yeah. Yeah, okay. I knew I recognized the name. Now that you just put it in the chat again, I'm like, yeah, that's definitely you. How many times have you left that joke in a stream? And how many times have people read it and not known? That's funny. ¿Qué tú pretendes? Que te coja para atrás? Only one guy laughed really hard, made the joke hundreds of times. Worth it. I respect it. Hey man, that's the cool thing about jokes. If you get a new person, you can just tell the same joke to them, and nobody knows that you said it 100 times. So that makes me think of my dad, man. The first time I ever heard my dad tell X joke, I was like, my dad's the funniest dude in the world. And by the time I was like 18, I'm like, bro, how many times can he tell this joke to different people? I'm scared that I'm gonna be like that. Scared I'm gonna turn into the guy that tells the exact same joke every single day. You already there, man. You already telling the same joke 100 times, bro. You on your way to being an old head, bro. You got kids or what? How old are you? It's not a bad life. Nah, man. I like to be creative with my jokes. I don't really tell jokes, but if I was gonna tell a joke, I would like to remix it every time. It's gonna be different every time I tell it. Someone else gotta start typing in here. I don't think there's nobody else in here except you, man. Typically, when I get on, I feel like people don't start talking until like 20 or 30 minutes in. So I just talk to whoever's up in here until all the regulars show up, assuming that they ever show up. Peace, man. Have a good night. Try not to tell the same joke 1,000 more times. I want to hear a new joke from you, bro. Next time you come in this stream, I want to hear a new joke from you. Hopefully, it's really good. But that conversation just made me think, like I said, man, for whoever's listening to this or for whoever does listen to it in the future, once you start aging, be proud of it, man. Seriously. Everyone's like all scared to get old and shit, but really, like I said, there's so many people that don't make it to whatever age you're scared about getting to. And it's really a blessing, whether you believe in God or not. It's a blessing from the universe. It's a blessing, period, to make it to whatever age. You know what I'm saying? So be proud of that. Rolando, what's up, bro? A long time no talk. What's going on up in the H? You saw Sauce Walker got shot in Memphis. Do you even know who Sauce Walker is? I be thinking if you're from Houston, you gotta know Houston people, but if you're not into that stuff, you wouldn't know them. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, I'm gonna wait for Rolando to tell me if he saw Sauce Walker get shot. Oh yeah, bro, I didn't remember that. I remember it now that you said it, but I couldn't remember if you knew who he was or not. But yeah, Sauce Walker. I feel like he had the best Drake diss. Big O, what's up, man? Big O 6970. But yeah, Sauce got shot in Memphis with his artist Say So, really Peso, but Say So P, and he died, bro. And I've been seeing all this stuff on Twitter where people are like, he stole $200,000 from somebody, and he wasn't supposed to come back to Memphis, but he came back anyways. So you never know. You never know, man. Here from Compton. Big O, what kind of music you listen to? Real motherfucking cheese. Yeah, Sauce got shot. I saw him on a video today. He posted a video with his leg. So he got shot in the leg, which is weird. I'm not gonna say nothing that I don't know is true, but he got shot in the leg and his guy got killed. They got robbed. I don't know how he only got shot in the leg and his dude got all shot up. A little weird. But stuff happens. There was another dude that came out and said that he saw, they stood over Sauce Walker and they're like, oh, this Sauce Walker don't kill him. So I'm like, that's strange. That's strange, but whatever. Mostly 80s rap and pop. All right, give me one song from each of those categories that you really like. I like to I like to see people's favorite songs and movies and TV shows and stuff, and I make up their personality in my head. I'm like, if you like this stuff, you kind of got to be like this. But yeah, there's been a lot of news in the rap world lately. You know, Yellow Beezy just got locked up. They finally are charging him with the murder of Mo3. And then all of this stuff went down in Cali with Big U, Loose Cannon, and a whole bunch of other Crips. And they charging them with a murder of some Crip rapper from like 2021. Stop the Violence by KRS-One. You know what? I think you said that last time, now that I think about it. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you did. I remember that now. I like the song Sex and Violence. Sex and Violence, Sex and Violence. Walker has songs where he talks about pulling triggers. I mean, to be honest, he does live that life, bro. I remember he was in LA. I think that was last year, bro. Somebody tried to rob him and he shot him. So it ain't like he's just talking. He definitely does live that life. Not a life I would want to live, but he's living it. I remember when he beat that dude up in the Galleria. That was probably like 10 years ago. A lot of people don't even know that Sauce Walker in that viral video. Hola, ¿qué tal? ¿Cómo estás, bro? Dum, dum, dum. Dum, 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 dum. How's saving up for those lawyer fees going? I remember you said you had that going on. Hotel California. Okay, you got good taste. What's your favorite movie? Or at least give me some of your favorite movies. Did it all yourself. Oh, wow. So that means you could get back to taking lessons then. So I remember you had brought that up as an obstacle in taking lessons because you said you were saving up for the lawyer fees. And how did that go? Doing it by yourself? That seems like it would be complicated. I was about to say something else. Oh yeah, I was gonna say I was thinking of music just now, and I was thinking the other day I said I brought up the fact that Aretha Franklin's "Respect" was a cover, and people didn't know it was a cover. And I'm like, bro, if you really look at the lyrics, you could tell it's a cover. Like some of the lyrics got tweaked, but you could tell it's supposed to be a song for a man. It's just, I don't know. It's just obvious to me. I always thought the song was weird when I was a kid. And when I found out it was a cover, I'm like, this makes so much more sense. Same thing with Cyndi Lauper, Girls Just Want to Have Fun. I just always feel like that song, it's a good song. Like, so Respect and Girls Just Want to Have Fun, they're iconic, right? Like, they got turned into, like, feminist, like, iconic songs. I'm not debating that at all. Like, they sound amazing. But just the lyrics, I will always listen to the lyrics and I'll be like, something just seems weird about this, bro. And then you hear the original version by a dude and you're like, oh, okay, this makes sense. Like, Girls Just Want to Have Fun. The dude's just saying he wants to settle down and get married, but girls just want to have fun. And with Respect, dude's basically just saying, like, it was Otis Redding. Basically saying his wife wasn't giving him none when he got home from working all day. All I'm asking for a little respect. Saving up and working twice as much to save up. Damn. So I got my records, give me a deadline. I have to do it again. Oh, okay. So what's your next life move, man? What's next? V for Vendetta. Okay. That's a good pick. That's a good pick. I like that movie. I think one of my favorite movies is Interstellar. That's one of those hate it or love it movies. I remember I avoided watching it for so long too because it just didn't seem interesting. I just would see that it was someone in space and I'm like, I'm not watching a space movie, bro. But then I watched it and I'm like, bro, this movie's so good. By the way, still to play, just getting a supplemental income set up before I go. So you're gonna move there, live there. I can't remember exactly what you said you're gonna do there and how it's gonna work, but I do remember that you said you were trying to do it. You said you were teaching coding, or were you already teaching coding? Nah, you want to go there to teach coding, right? Oh, okay, okay, I see it. I'm teaching coding, but gonna still push my side hustles. And why was it Paraguay? Why did you pick that country again? Was there a specific reason? Or were they just the ones that had an opportunity available? You talking about some tricky Spanish. That's the country with some tricky Spanish. And sometimes not even Spanish. A lot of times not even Spanish. Rolando, can we get a fact check on something? Are you able to fact check something really quick? Had some friends from there and an easy path to residency. Okay. I respect it. I respect it. Chat popping off now? A little bit. I left my job and I'm picking up contracts to be self-employed. I also started learning Spanish last week. Dope, bro. We love to see it. I think you can do it. You gotta set a goal and you have to make it important in your life. If you don't make it important, you'll quit on it. Rolando, what I was gonna say is that I want to say that Paraguay is the one country in South America where they speak the indigenous language more than Spanish. Can we get a fact check on that? You're my Jamie to my Joe Rogan. Lots of writing and self-reflecting. Why did you leave your job though? I should ask you this: what is your job? So I can know what kind of contracts you're picking up. You don't technically have a home here, so I need to keep it moving. So when is that move to Paraguay happening? I know you just said it's in the move. I mean, it's in motion, but when is it happening? I politely has to leave. What did you do, bro? You said you left your job. Well, I guess technically you did leave. Software engineer. Okay. I don't know anything about software engineering, coding, or anything. Damn, 50% of the company? Rolando, we don't want to know about what you heard. I need you to fact check my statement. But yeah, I've heard that a good portion of the population speaks the indigenous language there. Bro, I think learning Spanish is probably easier than learning whatever the fuck software engineering you did. But you know, I always felt like that. Like all of my friends were trying to push me into tech. And I'm sure there's always space to grow and do stuff that AI can't do yet or whatever. But that's what I always be thinking. I'm like, bro, technology is just rapidly advancing. I feel like wherever I can get in tech, a computer is gonna replace me before I can advance past that. You know what I mean? Like if you got the jump on it, maybe if you got into tech 15 years ago and you can see the gaps and you can say, um, okay, I can do this. AI won't be able to do this for 10 years or this. I feel like that makes sense. Like even me in strength and conditioning, right? There's always people that are like, "Oh, there's Chat GPT now. We don't need a strength and conditioning coach." I'm like, "Yeah, good luck, bro." Like, I have a job for a reason, and a computer will never be able to take my job. I'm always ahead of, I'm ahead of whatever that stuff is because that's a computer. It's all based off of the research that we're doing. We're the ones that figure this stuff out and we put it on the internet. And the Chat GPT can tell you that. But I'm a step ahead of that, bro, because I'm doing the real life stuff. You know what I mean? So I have the remedies that are not on the internet yet. I have the experience that isn't on the internet yet. Anything that Chat GPT tells you is something slightly from the past. More than 70%. I was right. I knew it. And it's more than the Spanish speaker, just like I said. I knew it, but I just needed a fact check because I don't like saying stuff like confidently, and I'm like, oh, that shit could have been wrong. Yeah, they speak what I mean. Rob, what's up, bro? How did the Spanish group thingy go? I got let go in 2023, Austin. 10 years. Damn. I knew that. I've been flying with full stack work. I don't even know what that means, bro. That's what I'm talking about, bro. Exactly, and an experienced engineer with AI is better than someone inexperienced with AI. Yeah, that too. That too. That's another thing I tell people. I'm like, I really don't care. Like if someone says, "Oh, I would like to hire you, but it's expensive. I'm just gonna use ChatGPT." I'm like, "That's cool. You should if you want to, and you can." But even some of the stuff that it might tell you, you might not even understand it. You know what I mean? Um, Coaching is not magic. Anything that I program for somebody or make them do, like you can find it if you want to. The whole point is that I've done it for 10 plus years and I can take you directly there instead of you wondering if you're doing the right thing. You wondering if, like, bro, a computer can be wrong. You know what I mean? It's really not hard for a computer to be wrong either. And you're going to believe it blindly because you don't actually know the stuff. Yeah, exactly. A good portion of the time, it just isn't correct. Like straight up. There's been a bunch of times that I Google something and the little AI overview is just straight up wrong, and I'm like, what the fuck? That's not even what I was looking for, but that's wrong. Like I just know that it's wrong, um, because I don't know exactly how it works, but like I said, I know that this shit is scanning the internet. It's scanning stuff that already exists and it's somehow, however they program AI, I don't know how it works. Like I said, it's just taking what is likely a correct answer. That doesn't mean that it's correct. It was chill, basically Colombian slang phrases. That's cool, bro. What phrase did you learn? Tell me a phrase you learned. The guy that taught me how to code got laid off. He had 30 years under his belt. Damn. See, that's exactly what I'm talking about. And I knew, let me tell you how I knew that was the wrong direction for me to go in. Everyone on Twitter was doing it. That's when I was like, oh, hell no. And bro, everyone was like making threads like 5 to 10 years ago, and they were like, if you want to make 8 figures in tech, this is what you need to do. And I'm like, either it's not that easy and you're just trying to get views, or it is that easy, and none of these people are gonna have a job in 5 years. If it's that easy to do, if you can just say these 5 steps, just finish this Google course and you'll make 6 figures. I'm like, that don't seem right, bro. It can't be that easy. Yeah, if Twitter knows it's too late. That's literally how I felt. I'm like, bro, I'm seeing threads with like 100,000 retweets on like how to break into tech and make 6 figures. I'm like, whoa, if this shit already got 100,000 retweets, I'm not gonna get a job. Like, we all got sold a dream in 2015 and 2018. I don't even, yeah, I mean, I guess it depends on what you call getting sold a dream, because like you said, it got you there, right? But maybe it's hard to see into the future, you know? I think maybe everyone wasn't like trying to misdirect people or scam, but I think maybe they thought that was the future and they couldn't, like I said, they couldn't see what was gonna happen with technology. But I mean, that's everything though, man. I don't think anyone could have seen COVID happening. Personal training, like straight up personal training in commercial gyms, was somewhat lucrative until COVID. I don't think I seriously doubt anyone in a commercial gym as a personal trainer is making hella bank right now. Like shit just changed after COVID, because first it was just people being scared to go into the gym. And then just the economic situation since COVID has been horrible for everybody. So like it's just not a good place to be. But there's no way you could have known that back then, you know? So I wouldn't say like I probably told people to become personal trainers back then, but it's not like I led them astray on purpose. It's just like things were good, they're not good anymore, bro. You need to find a government contract, you need to do something else. That's why I left the commercial gym that I was at and I started doing strength and conditioning for the government, because I was just like, bro, this is getting to a point. I was like, I'm not gonna be able to pay my bills soon. Like, I got ahead of it and started looking before, but I saw the direction things were going in. Everyone was like, oh, don't worry, once things open back up, it'll get back to normal. I'm like, I don't think so, man. I don't think so. I should have pivoted. All I was thinking was job security. But that's what I'm saying, man. You never know. The next thing that you do, you could think is gonna be secure forever, and it's not. That's just, I mean, that's just life, bro. We just have to adapt. We just gotta roll with the punches. Gyms are coming back. Yeah, I agree, and I feel the same way. I have a home gym that's not like a real home gym, but it's enough. You know, I got my kettlebell, pull up stuff, dip station, all kinds of stuff. But just like you said, like there's something about the gym environment that you can't replicate at home. And I'm a pretty motivated individual. It just feels like I can work harder in the gym. You got people next to you lifting heavy, and I'm like, you know what? I would step it up a little bit. I don't know, just it's just that environment puts you in a different mood. It's like having a study room versus doing your shit in the bed. Like you might be able to focus a little bit more because of that environment. See, Austin, we're on the same page, bro. We're on the same page. I try to say it in a not dickhead competitive way, but that's how I am, bro. I'm like, this guy is my gym enemy, bro. I gotta outlift him. And I'm like, I hope he's there at 1 o'clock when I go today so we could face off without actually facing off. You know what I mean? Nah, it's all healthy competition, man. It's all healthy. That's how you wound up in Canada. Yeah, I remember. I remember that's why I was confused last time when you said you were going to Paraguay. I'm like, what? All right, thanks for dropping in, bro. Let me know if you need any help with Spanish when you start, bro. I got you. I just wasted water on myself. Where did Rob go? He was supposed to tell me what Colombian phrase he learned. So where did you say you were? Where are you at now? Because at first it was India, not India, Indiana. Then it was Canada. Then I remember you were going somewhere. And you had a layover in Fort Lauderdale. You're not in Paraguay yet, right? Or are you still in Canada? It's hard for me to keep up. Okay, you're in Chicago. Okay. I get you. Okay. That's why you're saying you don't have a home earlier. Because you're staying with your uncle. Yeah, that's tough, man. That's tough. It sucks staying with other people, man. Even if they're accepting and willing, you're still like, I'm in somebody else's house. I know they don't really want me here, so they want me to get out as soon as they can. Dar papaya, yeah, bro, that's like the most Colombian phrase ever. Rob, stuff like that, I didn't even know. Like, I didn't know that was a Colombian phrase until I don't know when, but because I learned from a Colombian person, so I thought that was a normal thing to say, and people would just be like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" Hmm. For free, bro, that's looking out for real. I don't even like doing stuff for free, bro. I mean, you might not have a choice because I don't know what your situation is, but I would have to pay something because I feel like people, when you don't pay anything, I feel like it's easier for people to get annoyed at you because it's just like, man, this motherfucker ain't paying nothing. He using up all of this. He using up all of this. But if at least if you putting in for something, maybe they can't get that annoyed. They can't say, "Oh, well, I'm letting you stay here for free." I said on podcast, it's when you put your money together to buy something. Like if you know, if we, I don't know, like if we want to buy a pizza, it's like let's all put in $5. That's what I'm saying. He said I want you to be set when you get to your next place. So he's a real one for that. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, you got to do something. You got to reciprocate somehow. Like I said, just because whether they know it or not, there's a chance that they could build up some resentment from you not paying anything. Not necessarily, but there's a chance. I know me personally, if I let someone do something for free, I wouldn't that resentment wouldn't develop because I look forward and I see stuff like that. I'm like, do I want to give this person this for free? Because I might get mad later. If I think there's a chance, then I don't do it. So I have to go into it with the mindset like, no matter what, this is free. It's my fault that it's free. I told them that it's gonna be free, so I can't build no resentment towards them. But like I said, it could happen, man. Depends on the person's mindset. Depends on their personality. El capo de capos. You was in a real Colombian class. Damn, 8 months? Bro, he really looking out. That's a long time, bro. That's a real long time. I respect it, though. If y'all are close, unless we were super close, I wouldn't let nobody stay at my house for 8 months. That's a long ass time, bro. Like, I'm just thinking, like, I started this job that I'm working right now December. So it's been 3 months, and bro, it feels like I've been working for like a year, bro. I'm like, God damn, like, I need a break. So I can only imagine somebody staying in my house for 8 months. Oh, okay, y'all are close. That makes a huge difference, bro. If it's if you're close and y'all don't have no static from like cleanliness or something like that, or like some kind of habits that you have that they don't like, then if y'all don't got none of that going on, you'll be alright. You'll be alright. Oh, you told me what games y'all play together? I think this you always bring up this game, and I just be like, I really don't know what that is. All these kids, how many kids? Kids are like that, man. I work with kids right now, and you have moments where you're like, man, I really want a kid. This is like this kid's so cute. I can't believe they said that like that. I can't believe they fell over like that. And then like when they're throwing their tantrums, you're like, oh yeah, fuck that. I do not want no kids, bro. Nope. Two and a grandma. Mm. Yeah. Yeah, kids are a blessing, man, but they're a handful. They're a handful, man. Man, I always just forget that kids have to learn everything, bro. It's just like I see like a kid tripping, like when like I said, I work with kids, so I'll be like, hey, dude, tie your shoes. That's why you keep falling over. And he just be like, I don't know how to tie my shoes. And I'll be like, oh shit, my bad, bro. Like, my fault. I forgot kids have to learn how to tie their shoes. That's crazy, bro. You just gotta wait for someone to tie your shoes. That's insane. Insane, bro. But that's how it is, man. You gotta learn to do everything. That's why it's important to have good parents. I mean, it's not like you could choose, but that's the importance of parents and caretakers, bro. Like, you are literally teaching the kid everything they know, from behavior to skills. So they're modeling themselves after you. You know what I mean? Yeah, everybody's a tablet kid now, man. I don't play that shit, bro. Nope. Only thing I let my nephews um, play the game with me, so we'll play Call of Duty Mobile and stuff like that. But they can't just sit around on the screen all day. Like, nah, we're gonna go do some boxing. We're gonna go do some activities. I make them read. You can't just be sitting on a tablet all day, bro. That's not it. That's not it. And luckily, where I work at with kids, we don't allow them to get on the tablet. So they have to do like gross motor skill stuff. They have to play with toys and read books and all kinds of stuff. That's what they're doing right now. Damn. Wrong pipe. About to die. Damn, man. Well, I'm excited to see how life goes for you in Paraguay, man. That's gonna be it's gonna be different, but interesting. Interesting and different. It's always good to go experience a new culture, a new life. Even if you don't stay there forever. Trying to get my language exchange partners back, but my work schedule is crazy. What's your work schedule like? Hold on, I gotta reply to a text. All right, I'm back. What's like? What stops you from talking? Well, when you do language exchange, oh, 11 to 8, that's crazy. When you say language exchange, are these people that you have like set classes with? Or is it like a group type of thing where it's all day, y'all can send voice notes back and forth if you wanted to or something? Yeah, 11 to 8 might be the worst schedule of all time. Okay, I set up times. Yeah, to me, I feel like when you got a schedule like that, like if you're a super busy person, uh, it's just you gotta just find you gotta not set up times, and you have to find people that you could send voice notes to like all day, like when you get the time to reply and when they get the time to reply. Like our little Spanish WhatsApp group that I have, you know, like I can see that they're sending stuff in the group right now, but like there might not be any activity for 6 hours, and then somebody might say something, somebody might reply to that like an hour later, stuff like that, you know. So I feel like that's better. I think most of the people in our group have crazy schedules too, so it's cool that they can talk to each other like all throughout the day. Sometimes it gets a little dead up in there because everyone's schedule is so different, but eventually people reply. So all right, I just need to set up like 9 to 10 every night. That's rough, man. Get off of work straight into that. That'll make my, I think that'll make my brain hurt, bro. I need a break. When I switch activities, I need like a little decompression time. You feel me? But you gotta do what you gotta do, man. Gas to do what you got to do. What app are you building? That's even crazy. Like for me, for someone to say that they're building an app, I'm like, that's wild, bro. That's insane. I wish I could say something like that. Oh yeah, I'm building an app. It's for scrap warehouse for inventory. That's cool. That's dope, man. That's dope. Like I said, I wish I could do something like that. I don't want to put in the work to be able to do it. I just wish I could. I'm never gonna do it, but I wish I could. I think a lot of people don't know how to accept stuff like that. That they don't actually want to do something. It just sounds cool, and you just respect. You respect that somebody else did it. A lot of people have problems with that, man. They see someone else do something and they feel the need to try to like take on that thing too. Like, I'm gonna start this. Like, bro, you don't actually want to do that shit. I know I'm never gonna do it. I'm 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 just admiring the fact that you did it. And like I said in my head, it sounds cool. But I ain't gonna do it though. I'm just not. Dun, 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 dun. How do you even go about building an app, bro? Like, what are the steps for that? It just seems impossible. The worst part is making something from just little tidbits that the client says. I would probably be that client. I'd be like, yeah, I just kind of want an app that, kind of does everything, Nothing specific at all. Just, those are the worst type of people, bro. I have to deal with stuff like that too, because I take on individual clients for strength and conditioning, and I'll be like, yeah, so I need like all of this information. I need your goals. I need this. And they're like, yeah, I kind of just want to be strong. And I'm like, yeah, like what is strong to you? Strong to you and strong to me might be completely different things. I just want to be fit. No, I don't know, bro. I need some tangible goals so we can start working, bro. Like, one stop shop. My brother says that shit all the time. I literally be like, "What is the one stop shop to you, bro?" And he'd be like, "I want to do it. We want to be a one stop shop where you can do everything here." And I'm like, what is everything, bro?" Literally, he says that shit all the time, and I just be like, "I don't know what you're saying, bro." But yeah, that's the human condition for sure, bro. Motherfuckers do not know how to get specific. It's like they have all this stuff in their head and they don't know how to pick one. But that's why, kind of like what you just said. Like for me, I already know my clients are gonna do that. So when I get a new client, one thing I sometimes I do like reverse psychology. Motherfuckers be acting like they don't have any tangible goals. They're like, I don't really care about numbers. I don't really care about this. I don't really care about this. I kind of just, and they just keep saying general stuff. And I'm like, how about this? Let's aim for a 135 bench. And they're like, well, I think I could do more than that. I would like to bench at least. And I'm like, oh, so you do have a number in your head. So I do stuff like that sometimes. Or like I said, I just, have ways of directing them there, getting their mind more specific. I like playing with manure. Icon, why you gotta be weird, bro? Why can't you just come in the chat and be a normal person? Maybe that's his normal. That probably is his normal. That's not normal for the rest of the world. You know what? You know what's weird about it? If he actually played with manure, it wouldn't be weird. The fact is, I know he doesn't like playing with manure. So he had an intrusive thought. He just let it win. And he's like, I'm going to type this shit in the chat. I'm going to type that I like playing with manure. He could have just stopped in and said, hey, how's everybody doing? He could have told us something he actually likes. It takes me 15 minutes to read a page in Spanish. Is that bad to you? Earwax tastes good, just saying. No, it doesn't, bro. I remember when I tasted earwax as a kid. I was a little kid. I shouldn't have tasted it, but I did. I went, tasted it. That shit was disgusting. I'll wait for Michael B to reply, and then I'll say what I'm actually thinking about his reading. I'll give my unsolicited advice. Kid in the back of class energy. Kid in the other class energy. He was separated from the rest of us in class. versus 2 minutes in English. You know, Michael, I figured you would say something like that, and let me tell you something. You can't compare your English to your Spanish. I don't know how old you are, but I guarantee you've been speaking and learning English for 10 times longer than you've been learning Spanish. For two, the level of the material that you're reading, um, in comparison to the level that you're at in English, I need both of my hands to explain this. Well, let's just pretend my eyebrows. My eyebrows are your level of English, and you're reading something that's at this level, or this level, or this level. So, of course, you can read it in 2 minutes. Whereas your level of Spanish is down here and you're reading something that's up here, it's going to take you 15 minutes to read it. I guarantee you, I don't know what level your Spanish is at, but if you got a toddler's book in Spanish, it wouldn't take you 15 minutes to read the page. You're just trying to read something that's very far beyond where you're at, which is fine. You can do that if you want to. Since I've gotten back to the States, I take a lot of Ubers, and I've been able to talk with my drivers. I'm so rusty now. Yeah, that's just part of the game, man. You can't be sharp with something that you're not using consistently. You know what I mean? Something has to suffer. Your English has to suffer, your Spanish has to suffer. One thing's gonna suffer. When I was in Colombia, my Spanish got a lot better. But when I had to speak English, I'd be like, bro, I feel like I'm thinking really hard to say this shit. But it's because I wasn't using it. You know what I mean? I'll never forget English, just like I'll never forget Spanish. But you definitely get rusty to your level of whatever. You know what I mean? So I consider myself expressive in English, but like I said, there's like times where I'll be like, damn, I really can't think of what I'm trying to say. And the words that I want to say it. I can express the idea, but this is not typically how I would express it, is what I'm saying. So, you know, you just gotta do what you can, man. You just gotta do what you can. On the days that I talk more in Spanish, I don't read as much. On the days, if I have a day, which is not too often, but sometimes I have days where I don't speak Spanish at work and stuff. And so I'll say, you know what, let me read a little bit more today. Try to balance it out. There was this guy that learned Chinese through immersion and forgot English. Nah, I'm not buying it. Unless he has something neurological going on. Bro, you could not speak English for 30 years and you're not gonna forget English. You've put too much work in. Now, what would be different, because this does happen, if you learn a second language as an adolescent, because you haven't put in enough effort in your first language to have it locked in forever. So there's lots of kids that come here from other countries when they're 8 years old, 10 years old. Yeah, if you speak English for the next 30 or 40 years, like you're gonna I don't even remember when I was 7 years old, bro. Barely. So of course I could forget a language that I learned at that age. But if you're an adult, you're not gonna forget your first language. Oh, okay, yeah, yeah, yeah. That's normal though. Forgetting, yeah. I mean that would happen. That's what I'm saying. That would happen to me in Colombia, bro. I'll be trying to either somebody would ask me for a translation, or I'll be trying to think of something in English. I'll be like, what is this shit called in English, bro? I dead ass can't think of it right now. But it's just because I was like not using it. No sabos. Yeah. And I'm not even talking about that. Well, here's the thing. Me and Axel talk about this all the time. There's hella different levels of no sabo, bro. There's like legit no sabos that are like, um, yo no habla español. And then there's like people that speak fluent Spanish, but they don't speak it at the level of native speakers in other countries that were born and raised there, and those people are like, this fucking, they can't even speak Spanish. But those like no sabos that can't speak at all, bro, most of the time they never could speak. That's what's crazy. Like people act like they forgot the language. I'm like, no, bro. They just their parents talked to them in Spanish until they went to school, and they never spoke Spanish. Like they knew a couple of words, but they when you go to school, you barely can fucking speak. You know what I mean? In the first place, and so they go to school and speak nothing but English. Of course, they're not gonna speak Spanish. Um, but yeah, that's different. I'm talking about like I don't know if you ever seen that one episode of Casa Cerrado where the girl was like, my name is Moon," and then you know the judge was like, "Your name is Luna. It's not Moon, okay?" That girl came from Colombia when she was like 10, and by the time she was 13, she damn near forgot how to speak Spanish because she was suppressing it. But she was what I would not consider a no sabo. Like her, my wife, people that just didn't get a higher level education in Spanish, so they don't have the same vocabulary as they do in English. They like you're not a no sabo because you wouldn't say no sabo. Like I think you have to be one of those kids that literally don't know how to conjugate stuff because you didn't really learn the language like that. That's what I think when I think of no sabo. Like the people that literally can't communicate. Tony Ferguson is a no sabo. There's a lot, man. Danny Garcia, couple other people. There's somebody right now. Richard Torres. I don't know if you know Richard Torres. He can't speak Spanish. They had him on a Spanish podcast the other day, bro. It was a tough watch because he wanted like he's trying to learn as an adult since he's Mexican. And he like I think his plan was to use his basic Spanish on the podcast. And he said like two sentences, and then like from the rest of the time on, he had someone translating for him. And then every time that they spoke to him, he'll be like, and then like he would try, and then he'll be like, look at the translator, like, nah, I can't do this shit, bro. And I'm like, damn, that's tough. It got to the point where the podcast hosts were just like using the English that they had. They're like, fucking, bro, he can't understand this shit. Like, let's just speak English. So that's tough, man. The Diaz brothers, I mean, yeah, I'm not surprised that they don't speak Spanish. They barely speak English, bro. Way too much CTE going on. I just miss not using it, but where I was, it just wasn't happening. Or you misusing it. I think you meant you misusing it. But yeah, you up in Chicago now, man. You got some Spanish speakers out there. Rolando, are you sure Tony Ferguson is in El Salvador? Sometimes these dudes don't be speaking Spanish, but they can though. Tony Ferguson doesn't strike me as a guy that can speak Spanish, but I'm just saying in general. A lot of people, you think they can't speak Spanish because they just never do, and they're like, "Oh yeah, I speak Spanish. I still speak Spanish with my parents." And then, like, I'm trying to think. There was a boxer like that where I'm like, "What? This dude spoke Spanish this whole time?" Can't remember. What did you just text me? You texted me. I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna watch it when I get off of here. But yeah, I think it's funny when people that don't speak great Spanish try to talk trash in Spanish or just any language. Like when you learn, just try to learn the shit talking phrase. That reminds me of like Caleb Plant when he was trying to talk shit to Canelo in Spanish. I'm like, bro, Like, I feel like he just Googled it. Cause I'm like, there's no way you learn this from a speaker. Cause I can't even remember what he said. I don't know. He was saying it so wrong though. He was like, cause he was trying to say listo para, but he was saying like listo pa, and he was just like listo pay los chingazos, and I was just like, yeah, bro, just stop it, dog. It's not coming off like you think it's coming off, bro. And so I think it's funny. I think Kobe Bryant might be like the only person ever that was good at shit talking in foreign languages. But I'm gonna watch that Tony Ferguson joint when I get off of here. Let's see. I've been on for like an hour. It's pretty active up in here. I might stay on for a little bit, depending on how active y'all stay. I was only gonna do like an hour and 30 minutes, but I got time, cuz. Today I got time, cuz. Go to like 9:45 maybe, if y'all keep talking. I love watching celebrities and athletes that can speak Spanish, that learned. I'm always like impressed. Yeah, I got the video you sent me. I replied. I mean, I said something on here when you sent it. I said I'm gonna watch it when I get off of here. Bro, that's the worst when you can sleep in, but you can't because somebody wakes you up. Oof. But yeah, what was I about to? I was gonna say something about celebrities that speak Spanish. I think the most impressive person I've ever seen. Actually, I don't know. But there's a Japanese boxer that talks with a Mexican accent because he was doing like he like moved to Mexico when he was like 17 or 18 or so to do some training camps there. And if you speak English, you might be able to get around in Latin American countries with your English because someone might be able to help you in English, but he's Japanese. You know what I mean? So it's like, bro, you just need to learn Spanish. And since it's Japanese to Spanish, like he really had no choice but to just mimic people. And he has the most Mexican accent ever. It's hilarious. The only thing that kind of gives him away is like the typical Asian LR switch. You can hear him do that sometimes, like instead of saying hola, sometimes he says aura. But his accent, like his flow, is 100% Mexican. Like if you just heard him, if you were talking and just heard him in a conversation in earshot, you'll say, oh, there's a Mexican dude over there talking. Like he's got the accent down. And he doesn't know that he's doing that. He's just like, this is how I was taught to speak. So I'm thinking there's a Jamaican boxer, Nicholas Walters. He is fluent because he spent so much time in Panama boxing that he learned there. Oh, you know who the most impressive athlete I've ever heard speak Spanish? Ilia Topuria. That dude's Spanish is him and his brother actually. That dude's Spanish is immaculate, bro. Like podcast, interviews, like I'm always impressed when people can not just talk, but like really express like abstract ideas. He's not from Spain, bro. That's my point. You think he's from Spain? He just got Spanish citizenship recently because he's so famous now. Spanish is his third language, bro. His first language is whatever the fuck they speak in Georgia. I'm gonna say Georgian. Well, no, his first language is Georgian because his parents are from Georgia. He was born in Germany and he was raised there. He moved to Spain when he was like a teenager, a young adult. That's what I'm saying. You hear him speak and you think this guy is definitely a Spaniard, born and raised. He was not even a citizen when he won that title, bro. That's what was so funny. And he talks about that in podcasts and shit too. He's just like, bro, like people didn't even consider me a Spaniard. And now because I've done this and this and this, like they're like, you're from Spain, 100%. Like you've been here for so long, you should have been a citizen. Because that's how it works. Like Giannis, all of these athletes, they don't get citizenship until they do something spectacular. Because then the country wants to claim them. Because they're like, oh, we got our first ever UFC champion from Spain. And it's like, why didn't y'all give him citizenship before, bro? Like, I don't know who Jody Wild is, bro. Oh, yes, I do. What's the channel name? I don't be knowing people's real names, bro. But I've seen like every podcast he's ever done, bro. So yes, whatever it was, I've seen it. I've been a Topuria fan for like years now. That's how I know how many languages he speaks. And I remember on Twitter one time I got into an argument with somebody because it was like the same thing. I'm like, man, Elieto Puria's Spanish is so good. And they're like, well, duh, it's his first language. And I'm like, it's not though. Like, it's his third language, bro. That's how good he is. And even his English is his fourth language. And he's getting so good at it, bro. He's not, I don't think he's ever gonna be like his Spanish and his Georgian, but it's good. Like he can have conversations, he can talk shit, he can do interviews, he doesn't need a translator. Alex, what's good, man? You feeling better or what? Yeah, but that's what I'm saying, bro. Partly grew up in Spain. He moved there when he was a teenager. That's it's still his third language. That's like someone moving to America when they're 16. Like I'm not gonna expect them to speak like us in English. You can. There's him. He's an example of someone that's done it, and I'm sure there's people that do it in English too. But it's still impressive. Yeah, you can claim it, but they're not claiming him. That's what I'm saying. He didn't get citizenship until he was a grown ass man that won a championship belt. So I can't say he's from Spain. He didn't grow up there. If someone moves to America when they're 16, we're not gonna say they're from America. You wouldn't say that, bro. You wouldn't. After they spend so much time here, you might say, "Oh yeah," like especially once they get citizenship, you say, "Yeah, bro, you're a citizen now." But you won't say that they're from here. If someone was born in Spain and they moved here when they were 16, we're gonna say you're from Spain. Hanging in there, that's good, bro. Rob was in here earlier. He was telling us some Colombian expressions he learned in that little group class today. I need to pop in there one day, man. I keep saying I'm going to, but I don't. But yeah, anyways, regardless of the circumstances, I think he has the best Spanish out of any athlete that I've ever seen that didn't grow up speaking Spanish. Like, yeah, I get what you're saying. He started to learn it as a teenager. But I mean, when you can tell stories about how you learned the language, to me, that means you learned the language. Like I can't tell you stories about how I learned English. Like I just speak English. I don't remember the first time. I don't remember anything about how I learned English. I just spoke it one day. So he tells like if you ever watch his interviews, like I've seen all of his podcasts. He talks about how when he moved to Spain, he learned from all of his jujitsu practices, all of his gym sessions. Like he had to learn to speak Spanish. So if you had to remember, or if you can remember with your conscious mind how you learned a language, to me, you learned it. Yeah, I need to pop in the class for sure. This is just my, bro. This is like Sunday is like my lazy day, bro. So I don't want to. I hate committing to stuff on my lazy day. It's like the one day where I don't do anything besides this live stream. So the thought of saying I'm gonna do something at 6 o'clock, I'm just like, oh. And I know if I do that, I'm not gonna want to do this. Oh, the Wild Project. Yeah, I kind of figured that when I saw Wild and when you said Jordy Wild, I'm like, it's probably the Wild Project. Yeah, I've seen that one. Yep, I've seen it. But yeah, like I said, with Ilya's older brother, his Spanish is still amazing, but I feel like there's more cracks in his Spanish than there is in Ilya's. Like Ilya just sounds like he's from Spain. Like there's nothing that he does or says that like gives away that he isn't from Spain. Whereas like his older brother, I don't know. I don't know how to explain it, but he doesn't have the same flow. You could tell that he's like he still speaks well. He doesn't look like he's like thinking or struggling. It's just like I would be able to guess that he wasn't from Spain before I could guess that Ilya wasn't from Spain. Luka Doncic, he speaks pretty decent Spanish. Kobe's Spanish was decent, rest in peace. But usually, like I said, with athletes that learn a language, they're usually like okay. It's like all of those like white dudes in the MLB that learn from their Dominican teammates. It's like they have the flow, but they don't have like anything else. So it's like you could tell that they learned it, and it's cool. But it's like, yeah, we could tell it's not your native language. I don't remember learning either Spanish or English. I consider myself a native of both. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, if you're like really from somewhere, if you really grew up speaking something, you literally just you just gain consciousness one day. But it's not like you remember the effort that it took to try to get the language. Like I said, I can remember like words that I learned in English, but that wasn't me learning how to communicate in English. I just popped up one day with full self-awareness and consciousness, and I was just like, oh my god, I am alive. Bro, they're not gonna fight. Patty Pimblett has a fight with damn, my memory's gone. He's about to fight soon. Michael Chandler. Michael Chandler. I think Patty's pretty good, man, but all of that fat shit is gonna catch up with him. You can't do that shit forever, man. Not only does your metabolism get fucked up, but like there's a really good book if you guys ever want to read it. It's called Why Diets Make Us Fat, and it just explains what your body does on a basically on like a cellular level for survival. And anytime you go up in weight, because that's good for your body, even though it can be bad long term, if you think about it like history wise, gaining weight was a good thing. You know, eating food is good. So anytime you get to a weight, that becomes your new set weight if you stay there for long enough anyway. It's not like if you just do it in one day. But you get to a weight, let's say you get to 200 pounds, you're there for months, your body now says this is where we need to be. So anytime you go below that, your body will fight tooth and nail to get you back there. It will like fuck you up. It will burn energy differently. It will make you not want to be as active. Like your body's gonna fight to get you back there. And so every time these dudes like him cut weight and they go back up to a heavier weight, that's exactly what happens. Your body tries to fight against what you just did, and it says, this is what we need to do. We need to gain more weight. because clearly he's struggling right now. We were at 200, he dropped to 160. When he starts eating again, let's store more fat. Let's get him to 205. Let's get him to 210. So he's gonna get fatter and fatter, and he's gonna have a tougher and tougher time making the weight that he needs to make. Yeah, exactly. Grammar lessons were just polishing. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, I remember grammar lessons in English, but like you said, I already knew how to speak English. I already knew how to communicate everything. It's just you learn certain stuff like, oh, technically you shouldn't say this like that, and technically that's not how you say the past tense of that word. That's the kind of stuff you're learning. And that's a really hard concept for people that are learning Spanish to get. I always tell people that. I'm like, bro, when you went to grammar school in English, you already knew how to have conversations. So too much grammar too early, I just feel like it's a bad idea. Like you just need to learn how to talk first. You just need to learn how to communicate your thoughts. Making some mistakes here and there is not a big deal, but the more grammar rules you learn with no base, it just makes it 10 times harder to talk because you're trying to think of a rule instead of just talking, you know? And you're like, should this be like this or should this be like this? And you end up just going, And then people are like, I'm gonna just talk to this dude in English. I drank way too much water, bro. I keep having to go to the bathroom, trying to hold off for as long as possible. I was thinking of another actor too. There's an actor that speaks really good Spanish that I learned, but I can't think of who it is. Jeb Bush. Jeb Bush, he speaks pretty good Spanish. George Bush, no, but Jeb Bush, his Spanish is pretty decent. Can't lie. Can't lie to you. No, not Matt Damon. Ben Affleck. Ben Affleck has good Spanish. Maybe not good, but it's a good accent because he learned while he was in Mexico as a teenager too. I think he's probably a good example of um, like how much you can lose from not speaking it. Like once you get to a certain level, you can only fall so low. Because anytime he does an interview in Spanish, it's like you could see it. You could see it working. You could see he's getting back to where he was, but you could tell he's like, damn, I used to be able to speak so much better than this. So he's never gonna forget how to speak, but you definitely can get so rusty that you drop a few levels. Ben Affleck has a decent accent. Yeah. Because he learned. He was like living in Mexico as a teenager, so it wasn't like he like took a Spanish course or something. He was really learning from people. What up, bro? Tom Cruise is really good. Tom Cruise is Spanish? I don't think I've heard Tom Cruise speak Spanish before. I gotta go look at that. Tom Cruise. I guess that doesn't surprise me. He's an intense dude. I could see him just saying one day, like, I gotta learn Spanish. And just doing it. But yeah, I've seen so many. I always look up stuff like that. Like I remember looking at Will Smith. And what I always do is like I always put stuff in my watch later. So a lot of these celebrities that I thought spoke really good Spanish, maybe in my first year or second year, I go back and I watch it and I'm like, yeah, actually they don't. But I thought they did. I can't see what your name is, but hi, what's up? You got a weird name. It's like characters. I'm gonna look Tom Cruise up though. I'm gonna look Tom Cruise up tonight, see what he hitting on. There's a few other ones that are really good. But yeah, I mean, even like a lot of the YouTube channels I used to watch of people that learned. When someone's at a higher level than you, all you know is like, man, this dude speaks so well. But then if you go back and watch it later, like Lao Shu, rest in peace. What you call it? I used to watch his videos And I used to think he was really spitting, bro, because I didn't really know what him or the other person was saying, you know? And then I went back and watched it, and I'm like, yo, he kind of has pre-programmed answers. Sometimes they'll ask him a question and he won't answer it. He'll just answer something else. And I should be like, that's not what they asked you. But he had it planned out so well that he would just go with the answer, and then they would just respond to that because they're like, oh, maybe he didn't hear me. And then it just seemed like he was flowing. I'm like, damn, this dude's good. What am I doing? I'm just sitting here on the stream. What are you doing? But yeah, there's a couple other athletes. There's a lot of boxers that have learned Spanish just because boxing is it has so many Spanish speakers in it. And a lot of those dudes that learned it in boxing, they're not even like, they don't even show it off like that. They just, if they need to do an interview in Spanish, they'll do it. But for the most part, they just keep it in the gym, just speaking with their sparring partners and stuff. And vice versa. Like Canelo Alvarez, man, his English has gotten really, really good over the years. I remember, like, this would have been like 2013, 14. I remember watching like his HBOs where he was getting ready for big fights, and he's literally, I remember him being on Duolingo, like getting the stuff wrong and just being like he didn't know what they were saying. So now to see him doing full podcast, full interviews in English, that's really cool, man. I love seeing people learn languages. I love seeing people learn everything, but obviously I have a soft spot for languages. So I think learning languages is tough, man. It's tough. The people that say it's easy, I feel like they haven't made it to a decent level. And the people that say it's like too hard to do, I feel like they haven't tried. So it's somewhere in the middle, but it's definitely not easy. It's definitely not easy to get to a point where you can really express yourself and stuff like that. So I really respect people that have made it to a point where they can, you know, do an interview. You have a riddle? What's the riddle? Please don't say anything crazy. And don't do the riddle of the Sphinx. Sphinx. How do crazy people sleep? With medication. That's not funny enough as an answer. Let me think. What would it be? I don't know. Crazy people sleep so they close their eyes. Okay, that was good. All right, that was a good one. That was a good one. I should have saw that one coming. Dun 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 dun. Let's see. It's 9:39. How long should I stay on? How long should I stay on? All right, goodbye. Thanks for the riddle. See you next time. Maybe. Till 2 a.m.? Hell no, bro. I gotta go to work in the morning. I was thinking I might stay on till 10-ish. What am I reading these days? In English or Spanish? Um, in Spanish, I'm reading a book called Los Vagabundos de Dios. It's a very um, complicated book. It's it's a lot of high level vocabulary up in there. I don't think you saw. I put a thing in the chat the other day, and I asked people if they could guess the word with context, and nobody could guess it. And I was like, damn. It's a good book, but yeah, it's just I always try to challenge myself with reading, so I try to read stuff that is difficult for me to read. But I go back and forth. Like I'll read just a good story, and in the next book I'll make it something that's difficult, like like some Cien Años de Soledad type stuff, where I'm like, it's a struggle to read it, but I'm like, that's the point. I'm not reading it to just for the goodness of the story. I'm reading it because it's difficult. So this book is somewhere in the middle. I'm back. I was in the restroom. The reason I mentioned Ilya versus Patty is because Pimblett was talking mad shit to Ilya. He was saying the Russians bombed Georgia because they're annoying. I don't know if it really got under Topuria's skin. People were saying that about Volk. People were saying that about Max. They always say Topuria looks nervous and that he got under his skin with that comment and blah, blah, blah. And then he just knocks them out. I think he's just got one of those personalities where he looks like he's bothered by stuff, but he doesn't seem to me to be a guy that gets bothered by stuff. Hold on, I gotta use the bathroom. I'll be right back. I'm just gonna beat your ass, bro, when it's time. Like, I don't know. We could have two different definitions of getting under one's skin. That means something very specific to me. That's the worst part about language, too. All words and phrases and all communication is just me trying to get you to understand what I'm thinking. So nothing means anything if you take it a different way. If we have two totally different slang things, two different phrases, just because I say something doesn't mean that you understand it. You know what I mean? So that's the difficult part about any language. Hey, Carlos. ¿Cómo estás, bro? Bro, vi que me dejaste un comentario por ahí en mi último en vivo, pero es que casi no abro la aplicación, bro. I was thinking maybe he knows someone who lost their life. It's kind of like how people from Argentina are really touchy about La Malvina. Yeah, but I think it's the same kind of thing though, because I see that happen all the time on Twitter, like Mexicans and Argentinians arguing, and the Mexicans bring that up. And I just think they bring it up so much that it probably doesn't have the same effect because they're probably used to hearing it all the time. ¿Qué? Carlos, ¿cuándo? But yeah, Rolando, it's possible. You might know someone that lost their life. You never know, man. Bro, you quit? Why, bro? Something happened, or you just ready to go? Oh, now I gotta come visit you. Gotta come visit you when you go back. My battery's low, so I'm gonna stay until 10 o'clock. I'm gonna stay on 13 more minutes. 13 more minutes. This was a good live stream. There was conversation. Alex, you still up in here? What are you reading? I meant to ask you if you're reading anything. tired and I want to do something else, do more content creation, and you don't have to get my spot, child. I feel you, bro. Yeah, man, you definitely gotta follow your heart on stuff like that. If you feel like you're tired and you need to do something else, I think you 100% should do that, bro. Good luck. I hope everything works out for you. Are you what city are you going to? Are you going back home, or are you going to? Because I think I remember you saying. I feel like you said you wanted to go to Medellin, but I don't remember. I can't remember the last time we talked. You said something like that. I hate how we're supposed to hate on Argentina. Like I wasn't supposed to celebrate when they won the World Cup. I mean, you're not supposed to do anything, but there's maybe some reasons that you could hate them. You know, I think people should do whatever they want, bro. If you don't want to hate somebody, I don't think you should. Ah, okay, you are going to Medellin. Yeah, I'm coming to visit, bro. I'm gonna give you some time to get set up, bro, and then I'm gonna be out there. So sometime I gotta come out there in like 2025. But I don't know what your life's gonna be like. I don't know how long it's gonna take you to get set up in Medellin, and then I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what your life's gonna look like. Well, I'll get in contact with you though. See when you're ready for me to come out there. Would I ever go back to Colombia, bro? Honestly, I loved it out there, bro. It's different, you know. It's different, especially because I didn't grow up there, bro. You know what I mean? So I don't ever want to like say something to like minimize the experience of Colombians, but you know, I had money when I was out there, so that's a different lifestyle too. But I loved it, and you know, if I wasn't married, you know, you have to compromise in a marriage. My wife doesn't want to live out there. We're not gonna live out there. But if I wasn't married, I would go back, bro. I liked it. Sí, bro, chamo. Maybe check out a different city. Um, she doesn't want to live there, bro. But that's what I was just telling Carlos. I do want to visit Medellin. I've never been there, so if he's gonna go live there, that would be perfect. That would be perfect. Um, but yeah, I'm definitely gonna go back. The living there situation is probably not gonna happen again, unless something crazy happens in America and we feel like we need to leave or something. But Medellin is fired. That's what I heard, bro. I don't know. Nothing ever made me want to go, especially because I didn't know anybody there. You know, I had Will in Cali and his family, so everyone I knew is in Cali, and even the people that I knew from Colombia, they were like if they were in a different city, they weren't there anymore. Like I know a couple people from Bogota, but they don't live there. They moved to the States. So every other city, I was just like, I don't really want to go visit somewhere. I'm a chill with people type of person. You know what I mean? Like it would be more fun to me to sit in somebody's backyard and just talk and laugh and stuff than it would to just like go do touristy stuff. So I never really want to go to cities if I don't know somebody there. Like I would rather just like kick it, you know. If you want to take me around Medellin, that would be cool because we could talk while we're doing it. But I don't really like just roaming around a city, just like, oh, look at that building, oh, look at that. I don't. It's not really my thing. I don't have a problem with other people doing it, but it's just not my thing. So I like to do if I'm going to do something, activities or something. Like every time I'm in Puerto Rico, you know, I do stuff. If I'm not going somewhere where I know somebody, then it's like, okay, at least we're going to El Yunque. We're gonna go do a guide led something in the rainforest, so we're gonna go check out this with people, whatever. But we're not just like walking around Viejo San Juan just pointing at the buildings and just looking at stuff. You know what I mean? So with Carlos up there, I'll have a reason to go for real, and maybe we can make some content together. That might be on my 2025 list. What is this? March, and you're going in June. Yeah, maybe we could think like end of 2025. That'll give you enough time to really, hopefully, get set up out there. Dun 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 dun. Do, 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 do. Carlos, did you already tell everyone that you're leaving? Like to your students and stuff now? Also, I mean that should be able to get you some more opportunities in Colombia, right? Saying that you taught in America, I feel like you should be able to teach some English in Colombia and stuff, like some higher level English. Everyone else, man, that was the worst when we had a cool teacher that told us they were leaving. We'll be outside and shit. Like, damn, bro, the one cool teacher we have, and he's leaving. You already got things planned out for when you go back to Colombia. Like, you know what you're gonna uh, do for work and stuff, or you just gonna play it by ear and just wait till you get there. Pues la universidad que estaba antes de venir acá. Oh yeah, you're set, bro. You're good. Yeah. Now, you know one thing I noticed. Giselle's not in here, but I teach English for Giselle. And one thing I noticed in Colombia is that like you can't do shit without getting like some kind of English certificate. Like every student that I get, they're like, "Oh yeah, I'm finishing up this degree, but I have to get this B1 certificate. I have to get this B2 certificate." I'm like, "Damn, bro, you can't get your degree without saying that you speak English? That's crazy." They don't care about that shit in America or in the United States. It's like, bro, like yeah, they make you take a foreign language in high school, but you would never get held back from getting your degree because you didn't get a certificate in a foreign language. Like that shit always just catches me off guard. Cause I always talk to them and say like, okay, why are we learning English? What makes you want to learn? They're like, I have to get my degree. And I'm like, what? That's some pressure. And they always do it at the last minute too. I don't know how that works either. But it's like they're like, yeah, I need this before May. And I'm like, bro, it's March. And you barely speak any English. So that's always crazy to me. But it seems like if you did speak English, or if you do speak English in Colombia, you have maybe a lot more opportunities. It seems like you could have a lot more opportunities. So, Carlos, what university is it? Not like I know the universities. I just want to know what it's called. Hold on one second. Access texting me. Oh, Universidad de Medellin. Never heard of it. See? I just wanted to know. I just wanted to know. Nope, never heard of it, bro. Never heard of it. It's funny because my students do that too. Like, I say, where you go to school at? And they'll say it. And I'm like, I don't know what that is. I don't even know why I asked you. I don't know. I don't know any of the universities out there actually. I think I know like two of them in Cali just because I would pass by them and stuff. But you know when people when you're from a place, the schools have nicknames and stuff like that. Like I would never say the University of Texas. I say UT. So there would be stuff like that that would happen in Columbia. Someone would say something, or sometimes my students say something, and I'm like, "What's that?" And they're like, "The university," and I'm like, "I don't know what that is, bro. Like I'm not from there." But they're just always surprised that I don't know stuff. That's the worst part about being a teacher too. I'm like supposed to know everything, and I'm just like, I'm just a human being, bro. Sometimes they ask me for translations, and I'm like, don't know. I know what you're saying, but I don't even know what the English word for it is. Do 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 do. Styles, hello. You came in at the last minute. I'm about to get off of here in 1 minute. Right after I tell Carlos one more thing. Carlos, do people ever ask you like for a translation like on the spot and you have to think really hard? I feel like some stuff just doesn't translate into the other language very well. The people just expect you to just have a reply like immediately. I'm gonna wait for Carlos's last reply, then I'm gonna get off of here. Carlos says, yeah, a lot. Yeah, okay. That's the worst, man. I'm like, man, you need to pay me for this shit, bro. That's a lot of brain power going from one language to another. Because you could understand something perfectly in either language, but then when you need to switch and you're like, what would be the best way to say this in that context? That totally changes everything. So, but all right. My phone's on 1%. It's about to die, so I'm out of here. Thanks for everybody stopping in. Carlos, I'm gonna stay in touch with you. We gotta plan this trip, bro. I gotta come out there. Talk to y'all later. Peace.